Okay, so I just wanted to make a little update video on the 2022 gasgas ec300. I haven't done nothing major to it yet. I've had it for, I don't know, probably like a month and a half now. I've got a lot of hours just riding in circles. 27 and a half hours on it already, which, by the way, is the longest I've ever rode a stock bike. I got tinkeritis, so I can't handle riding stock bikes, but this bike stock is the closest to perfect I've ever seen a stock bike. But anyway, this is an update just about a couple little things that I've realized through owning this bike and playing with it and leaving it stock. So let's see, where do I want to go first? Okay, so first is the idle screw mod. I did the idle screw mod right there, that red thing. I didn't have problems with it dying or anything, but it didn't idle. It sounded like it was gonna die unless you had the clutch all the way to the handlebar. It was like the clutch didn't engage far enough. I don't know how to explain it. Unless you had if you had the clutch right, like say you're riding and you have your other fingers behind the clutch, and so it would leave, you know, that much of a gap, it would idle stupid low, like you thought it was gonna die. But if you moved your fingers and pulled it to the bar, it still idled super low, but didn't sound like it was gonna die or nothing. So I did that, and I'm glad I did. At first I wasn't glad, because, you know, I followed all the instructions of everybody else on YouTube, and everybody on YouTube's videos seems to be older bikes, like say 2019, 2020, 2019, 2018, 2017, because that was the ones that had the huge problem and was running so lean, and, you know, huge problem with the idle and all that when they was trying to figure everything out. So then all of those videos tell you to close your air bypass. Close it all the way. Maybe give it a quarter to a half a turn. So I tried that, and it ran better. I could have, you know, just turn idle up if I didn't like it. But then, you know, I saw a thing about the TPS sensor and its readings and whatnot, and with a stock ECU, you don't want it, it says you don't want it over 6, it's 0.600. I checked mine was at 0.675. I left it because everybody was saying if you get over 0.600, if you get too far over it, you know, you'll have a check engine light come on because it says that the TPS sensor's messed up. Long story short, I played with that air screw, and it, you know, I'd turn it this way and it would be boggy. I'd turn it that way and it would rev to the moon but not have any power, and I'd turn it back this way and I'd turn it back that way, and I literally played with that screw for every bit of 6 hours of riding time. Finally got it where it needs to be. Anywhere, so right now I have it at exactly 2 1/2 turns. Not any more, not any less. If I can go back to 2 and have just a little bit more pop off the bottom. But then I end up with a decent amount of spooge coming out the back. So I put it up to the 2 1/2, and it's a little less poppy off the bottom, but it just seems to have smoothness all the way through with no gurgle and much less spooge, which, you know, I've looked up and not many people are saying anything about spooge coming out of the TPI bikes, but mine I've been riding for about maybe 2 hours now, and that's how much I've got, and I like it. That makes me know that I've got oil. I've got plenty of oil. I'm not running on a stupid lean TPI bike. Okay, so that's the first thing. If you have a 2022, which is already ECU'd to be stupid rich, and you do the idle mod, I would suggest going between 2 and 3 turns. At least try that first. You can play with it. Between 2 and 3 turns is absolute sweet spot, in my opinion. I also, what else have I done? Got the Tusk skid plate. I don't like the way it mounts. Yeah, it's cool and all, but let's see if you can see it under here. You can't. Maybe here, look. So if you look, you can see that red bump right down there. That's a bolt that's in these gasgas frames. I don't know if it's in KTM or not, but it's in this one. And that's exactly where that mounting bracket is supposed to go. It says it fits this bike, but exactly where that mounting bracket is supposed to go is that bolt. So your only choice is to slide it up a little bit and then kind of angle the bolts into it, and it's just not right. I don't like it. I'm gonna change it. I like the skid plate, but the mounting, truth be told, these front 2 bolts are somewhat cross-threaded. I mean, it was that or pull the bolts out of the frame, which I could have done, but I didn't want to open spot, let it's a steel frame. I don't want it rusting or nothing crazy. So I left the bolts alone, put it where I could, somewhat cross-threaded the front bolts. Oh well, it stays on. I ain't got to take it off for nothing because my oil's there, Only time I have to take it off is if I mess with the starter or something like that. Anyway, I like the skid plate, but I don't like the mounting. I will end up with an AXP or a SXS or something. I don't know. I'm going to change it, but it's probably going to be one of those two. So there's that. I found out the other day that we have these bands on these to see how much of your travel you're using. That right there is from my jump in my front yard. That's how far it goes. On standard, it goes just a hair further than that on comfort. But that being said, there's a huge difference in feeling in the handlebars between comfort and standard. Comfort is super comfortable. Standard, it's pretty damn comfortable. These are my favorite suspension I've had, but the more I get into faster stuff or trying to jump, I've noticed their limitations. But nonetheless, as far as riding, trail riding, just playing around, all around bike, great suspension. I love it front and back. But that being said, between comfort and sport mode, I could say sport mode, but the clickers, putting them in comfort and putting them in sport, these things right here on the ramp itself is about 2 foot high. And so the difference between comfort mode and sport mode, when I jump a jump that's around 2 foot high, the dirt itself is stacked up about 2 foot high. My bottom of my tires maybe gets 3 feet high, and landing from there, the difference between comfort, okay, so this is in standard, right? Comfort, it gets down like maybe there, like literally that much difference. And then on sport mode, same as comfort. There's not that big of a difference. I haven't tried, but I would imagine you have to dramatically change your clickers to get a dramatic change in the stopping of an open cartridge fork. I don't know yet. Another thing, I seen Jeff Slavens build one of these bikes, and he cut there's a tab that goes right there on these. You can see how I cut mine out. Stock, it has like a big bump on it like this, and it kind of forms into that so that there's just a very small crack for it to breathe through, right? So I saw he done that, and he cut it, and he said, they say it don't, it's perfect the way it is, but I prefer doing it this way, So yesterday I was like, you know what, I was just tinkering with it, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get some different colored plastics anyway. So if I feel like it gets dirtier, because I was worried about it. See how much of a gap that has now? That's good. But anyway, I was worried maybe they did that because they don't want to get dirty or whatever, So anyway, I cut it. It made a world of difference. It has it's so much more free revving. It has more power off the bottom. It didn't change the world. It's not a completely new bike, but it made a very significant difference as far as I can notice. I noticed the difference. It's stronger, it's quicker, it revs better, it's cleaner, it's crisper. It literally made a ginormous difference to the point where that's the hole I got. I'm debating on getting one of those, they make one one of these airbox covers that has like 3 holes down the side here, and it's got like a mesh on it. I'm debating on getting one because it made a ginormous difference. Let's see. Today I finally set my sag. I got it at 109. I like the way it's at. My KX I keep at 105. This one I went down just a little bit more. It made it squat just a little bit when I hit the gas real hard, but it tracks so good. Like, it just stays planted. That's about it, man. I've noticed I put oil in my reservoir today. I've put 6 tanks of gas through it, and my light still wasn't on. And I know it's working because when I first got it, I let it get down to the light coming on. And it still had plenty of oil. From 1 full tank of oil, I've done 6 full tanks of fuel and still had oil, even though this is the richer ECU. So that's just my little update. I love the bike. I still ain't done much to it. Just ain't really had the time or money lately. Oh, I did put the VX33 Dakota on here. The way it looks now, this is after, what would I say? I was at 27. I put it on at 19. Yes, at 19. So 8.5 hours, and it's rounded, but it's doing okay. I expected more. In my personal opinion, I like 525 cheater better, but I've got to thinking it's on a 4-stroke. That may be the difference. This tire does great. This is an awesome tire. I just expected more. I probably expected more because of how much people brag about it. You know, it is what it is. It's a very good tire. I like it. I'm going to run it till it dies. Nonetheless, the plans are Cooper or Git ECU, 2.1 turbine core, fatty, not the factory, but the regular fatty, SXS or AXP skid plate. I want to do the Cherubus X Factor, whatever, covers on both sides. I want to put, I'm between the Slavens racing head in red or the TSP racing head, but I'll probably go Slavens just because of the price and availability. What else? I also plan on doing the injector relocation. Not with the Git, though. I found another company that does the same thing, but it's so much cleaner. Like, literally, it gives you the same plugs for the ports, and then this little connector right here, it goes right here, you know, and this connector just clips right onto it, and boom, you put your injectors in there. It's already hooked up and everything. Put it down in there, screw it on. Same ordeal, just way prettier, way cleaner. Put this straight to it, and I plan on doing that for sure. I like the TPI, but I just want to see what it would feel like. I may end up going back to TPI because I love the smoothness of it, but I do lack small amounts of hit. Probably because I was on a 14 XC before this bike, so, and it had plenty of hit. I've played with my power valve and everything. I like it where it's at now. And that being said, I may, once I get my new pipe and head and ECU, I may not even be lacking hit and may do, you know, decide not to relocate the injectors, but that is the plan. Also, I'm going to turn everything gray, keep the front fork guards red. The frame is going to be red. The seat is going to be black and gray with red lines on it. Everything is going to be like gray with little red accents everywhere. That's the whole plan. So that's it. Let me know if you got any questions about the bike. I absolutely love it, and it's my baby. I named him Mario because I named my green KX 250X, I named him Yoshi. So now I got Mario and Yoshi. So, yep. Talk to y'all next time.